And here they come, folks. They're on their way down. We're going to try to get some good footage for you to see them on the way in. It's an unbelievable sight to those of us who are uninitiated to the particular skill. It is an absolute awesome demonstration of skill and ability, and never gets old. We've got 5 in the air. That's what we're being told. The first one is coming in. And makes a successful jump. Here comes number 2. The precision is absolutely amazing. Dropping it right on the 50, right on the midfield. That's 3 down. Here comes 4. So smooth. Make it look easy. I'm sure it's not as easy as they look. So the jump team on the deck, it looks like the color guard will be walking out. And assume we'll be getting ready for the anthems. All right, looks to me like we've got some pipes and drums. Referee is milling about at the center of the field, so he's ready for the day. I see one of the captains with the center referee. And looks like we've got 2 touch judges, ARs, ready to go, dressed in pink. So yellow in the center, and the AR is wearing pink. Go. And there we have the Army West Point Black Knights taking the field, making their way to the far try zone, and they will be forming under the posts. So both teams make their way to the field, line up for the anthem. On the right side of the screen, the Army Black Knights in black. And on the left side of the screen, Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in the red and yellow stripes. So that's the cannon fire that sets this game off. Those of you at home and across the Atlantic who are joining us today, we are expecting an excellent first match here, first few minutes. To my left, we've got Colin and Nate who are going to be helping me call the game today. Guys, what are you seeing? What are you expecting? What's the energy that you're looking for?
Wow, this is an international match. This is incredible. I've got butterflies. I've got goosebumps. I'm ready to go. I remember my first time that I went out to battle and heard two national anthems, and I know the boys down there from both sides are feeling the same thing right now. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Mike, great to be here with you all. And this is an elusive win for West Point. In the series, this is the 16th matchup. West Point's only won 3, going for 4 today. So a great day to be at Warrior Field at Anderson Rugby Complex.
So 16 matchups over their history. The Black Knights have taken 3, you said. That's a fairly lopsided statistic, but I know they're looking to sort of get another mark in the right direction here. Who are you looking at on the field who you might expect something big out of today?
Yeah, I'll field that one first. I'm looking at the number 8 jersey, Jordan Thompson, a raw talent. And I'm coming to you from the standpoint of working at USMAPS right now, the United States Military Academy Preparatory School. Jordan is a Vanguard alum, and so down here as a freshman or a plebe this year, he's just picking up rugby, and I think he's emblematic of a lot of the folks on the field. They're young, they're hungry, they're ready for this hit out.
All right, sounds good. So we'll keep an eye on the 8-man today, and we'll be looking on both sides of the ball. So at the center of the field, we see that Sandhurst has the ball, and they will kick off. Black Knights ready to receive. Looks like we're still waiting for the center referee to make his way toward the center, maybe fixing a few things.
We can't play a game without a referee? What's going on? I'm sure the boys would have fun without this.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Could be a little raw, but this gentleman is on his way, and so we see him make his way to the center. Things are looking good. Wait for that opening whistle and start the game clock and get this game underway. There it is, and we are off. Ball is up, it's tipped. Looks like it traveled off the hand of a Sandhurst player, so that's going to be our first knock-on of the day. Referee signals the knock-on, and so right off the bat, we're going to see the scrum down.
Nice competition in the air by Sandhurst. Put the West Point receiver under pressure there. Love to see a scrum within the first minute of the game. Really test out these packs here.
Yeah, and not a surprise that they would challenge them. I would say, just in general, Sandhurst going to be the more experienced players today. Again, put a little bit of pressure. So this first set piece will also be a good look.
So the platform is set. Good hard push there. It is hooked. It's available, and now it comes out.
There we go. Lucas Perez getting them going.
Ball across. A little bit of space. Has the 2-on-1 forming. Able to shoot the gap. That looked a little high. We'll see what the referee says. No, play on. It was up near the shoulder. So the first opening run is a solid one. Out to the pods. And now the Black Knights try to charge on. We see the bind and drive. Scrum half has the ball in hand. And it's out. A little inside ball there. Splits the defenders. That's a nice timed pass. A little flat pass there. Referee says...
Penalty.
Penalty to Black Knights. So the attempt at the poach, but must not have been released and back on size before hands went on. And so the poach was not successful, and the penalty goes to the Black Knights.
Quite a line break by Nick Trout there. Another plebe in addition to Jordan Thompson. As we said, young squad here. Nice line break to make it down there. Thought we were recycling the ball quickly there. Scrum, attacking scrum 10 meters in. I assume we'll go to Maul here.
So with only 2 minutes gone, we've already seen some great forward movement by the Black Knights. The line out near the 5 meter, let's call it the 7 or 8. And yeah, you might think this would be the situation to test them all right off the bat. Throw is up, it's fielded nicely, and there it is. So the drive is on. Looked to me like it was brought to the ground. We'll see. Referee's okay with that. Doesn't see a penalty there.
Cheeky, as the Brits would say.
Good hard drive, met with some good contact. Ball looks to be available. And out again. Oh, unfortunately, looked to be off the hands there. Knock on advantage, but no advantage gained. So it'll go the other way. Sandhurst will get their first put in on the scrum, and we'll see what sort of exit strategy they've got in line here.
Go ahead.
I've heard Coach Sherman say this a million times, that it's kind of been one of our Achilles heels. Inside the 22, either we score or they commit a penalty. Unfortunately, our first opportunity here, knock on, but we'll see what the clearance options are for Sandhurst here.
Yeah, I've certainly been there. A little bit of that tri-line fever. You know, you see it, you're ready to make that hard run, take your eye off the ball for just a second, and things don't go your way. Referee says free kick. That's a short arm. For those at home, the bent elbow suggests it's not a penalty, but he's not satisfied with the initial engagement. More than likely, they came in a little early to his liking, and so it becomes a free kick. Now, they are behind the 22, so they could kick it directly out, but the ball would go to the Black Knights. They choose to keep it in play. It's fielded cleanly by the 15, and it's brought back into action. Out to the wing. Good step. Ruck is sealed, and the ball's back out. So we see both teams really trying to commit that double tackle and get some forward movement on both sides of the ball. Right now, I would say that the go forward seems to be in the direction of the Black Knights. We'll see if they can keep that up. Little drop pass, has a gap. Nice little grubber to put it on the ground. We'll see what kind of chase we've got here. That's good pressure. 15's going to scramble. He's able to shake off the first tackler, but then met with some serious firm connection there by the number 6. Clearance ball is up, and it finds touch easily. And so the throw-in will go to the Black Knights. The line-out will go to the Black Knights, and we're somewhere around the, let's call it, 39 meters.
I'll be interested to see how they defend against this line out here. being further out. We saw the one just a few minutes ago. They chose not to compete. They're maybe half a compete. And yes, there's the, oh man, again, cheeky sack.
So again, the Maul attempted to form, but referee awards a scrum to Sandhurst. So again, that may be the first sign of some of the experience that you're talking about, getting away with some things there in the line or in the line out of Maul. For those who don't know the game too well, the Maul is formed when two teams meet over the ball in contact, and then you can go ahead and join and drive on. Looked to me like it was a clean one, not quite sure. The ball was lost forward, but looked pretty clean to me. Either way, the Royal Military Academy will put the ball in, and it's hooked and at the back foot of the 8-man. Army holds. Now the ball comes out. Big spin across. 12 looks for some space. Not a lot there. And the fold is available. So now the next tackle on. And we're seeing some pretty clean rucking and quick recycle.
Yeah, if Army had its preference, there we go. There's another positive grade tackle. They're going to aim for these double tackles when they can, which will disrupt the ensuing ruck.
And there you see it. Ball's lost. It went backward. Referee says, looks like we're possibly going to play a knock on there. Looking for the hand signal. Haven't seen it quite yet. And referee awards a penalty for offsides. Says the number 5 was offsides. Thought he held up 5. May have held up 2 hands there and called it a 10. The kick is out for touch and some territory gain by Sandhurst. And so the team in red has capitalized on a couple of penalties here, moved the ball down the field. Not really an open play, but a couple of big booming kicks to the sideline.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to their coach, Coach Andrew Dunlap, Major Andrew Dunlap, the adjutant at the Sandhurst Academy. Currently, this team formed 2 months ago. Got their kit. First time they played together was earlier this week down in D.C. This is their first official match. I don't think you'd know it looking at the way that they're kind of organized within these first
fair
10
call. I
minutes
mean,
or
the
so.
continuity seems okay for someone who's just sort of started working together. Lineup's up and stolen by the Black Knights. And now going to look for some space potentially. Have some numbers there. Good scraping tackle and able to keep the ball. Black Knights will look to recycle. Now a little choppy. Arm is out. Makes me think potential scrum advantage there for the knock-on. Little kick over the top. Some pressure coming. See what the decision here is. Decision to ground. And so the ball will come back out.
Yeah, lost in contact there going in. I think you pointed out there was numbers out wide. You know, maybe that's the inexperience. Can you see that shift? And I think that's going to be the two sides of the coin we see. You know, the folks from Sandhurst, they've got the experience as individuals, probably born with a rugby ball in their crib, but haven't played together a whole bunch outside of a scrimmage or two. And then the boys in black.
So the goal line dropout, restart, comes out. It's a nice long clearance, but now the ball comes back in the hands of the team from Sandhurst. That one was mishandled, and referee trying to make the call. There it is. So the knock-on is called, and the scrum will go down. So that pressure shows up. That defensive pressure you're talking about shows up, and it's certainly making the passes a little less clean and disrupting, as you might expect.
Yeah, didn't finish that other thought, but the fellas in black probably not as much experience as a rugby player, but they've gotten to be, you know, tons of freshmen and sophomores, plebes and yearlings out on here in the lineup. They've played together all year, and so hopefully there's a little bit of that that continuity between them.
So really great opportunity then for them to be on the field. Maybe they haven't had as many moments to be out there and celebrate what's been a successful season, of course. So I would think that this is a pretty hyped up, anxious maybe even game for them.
Yeah, I see a lot of folks down on the sidelines, it being a relatively early game, but seeing a lot of classmates out here in support. Good chance to see their friends, their fellow classmates and teammates down here getting in the game, getting in a match.
So the ball is in, comes right out the back. Arm is out. And now available, looks for the recycle. Referee's going to come back for a penalty. So I believe that was the scrum half offside. So new rule this year, new law this year. We don't have rules in rugby, we have laws. And that is that the scrum half cannot go beyond the channel, beyond the midpoint of the scrum until the ball is out. So referee felt that the number 9 on Sandhurst jumped a little early, resulting in a penalty for offsides to the Black Knights.
Colin, I saw you jotting down marks. I think that's Army's first penalty to them. How many against Sandhurst?
Unfortunately, the kick does not find touch and is now back near the 22. Big tackle made. So the ball goes to Sandhurst. It was brought inside the 22, so can't go directly out. Fielded cleanly by the 15, and now looking for the redirect. Looking for some green space. Not a lot there. Needs some support. Clean out is good, and that's good quality work by whoever came in and cleaned that out. Referee says that was a knock on, and so the scrum is going to go to Sandhurst.
You know what? In this first 11 minutes or so, Sandhurst has done a good job at slowing down these rucks with not a lot of resources. You saw it right there. That was one guy. Unfortunately, Jordan Thompson couldn't get the pill situated and comfortable in his hands. And I've seen it a couple other times. So I think they just need to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more aggressive in our clean out to get Lucas Perez clean ball to get into some sort of pattern. I think the game's been a little disjointed so far.
Yeah, it's a great point, and one that I think you can't sort of undersell that idea of if I only have to commit one person to every ruck or maybe two, and I'm able to keep everybody else out, that's an advantageous position. This time, the Black Knights get the penalty in the scrum, which is always celebrated, and they should be very happy with that. That's going to give them an opportunity to make a second crack at touch here and maybe gain some territory.
Yeah, I currently have 3 penalties against Sandhurst, 1 against West Point. Hopefully we can get some disparity between those numbers.
Yes. And I will say, and probably do the same, the words "we, us, and our," pardon us as homers, wearing the black and gold.
So a nice kick, easily finds touch and gains, somewhere around 20, 25 meters. Line out is set. The referee's going to just double check and have a conversation with the captain, or at very least a representative. I'm not sure if that is the captain. I'm just assuming, since that's usually who does the speaking. But that's the number 7 on Sandhurst having a clarification point with the referee. And they both seem satisfied, so they're going to return back to the line out. Referee resets the channel, and now the line out is formed. Big long throw off the hands and goes to Sandhurst. Referee says not straight.
They didn't contest though.
That is a very important point. So again, a new law this year is that if the opposing team does not contest, does not go up for the ball, then it really shouldn't matter if it's straight or not straight. It should go to the team that threw in. So unfortunately, he either felt they contested enough or just missed that one. It does happen. And then now the scrum will go to Sandhurst.
Yeah, not a bad attacking platform for Sandhurst right here. Passing off their right hand, a little bit of space out wide. I think they're going to probably keep ball in hand here and see what they can do.
Ball comes out.
Look at that 8 running across the field to support.
And now into the width. Army pursues. Is able to drop a little grubber down. 15 is going to have to come with some speed. And this may be the opening score. It looks like it will be under the posts. Sandhurst winger able to dot it down and get the first points on the board. And so some celebration from the away team here in the stands, and rightfully so. It was a good play, able to get out there into the width and make something happen.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous play, and probably the one that most wingers or any backline players dream of making. The chip and chase over the top, make one man miss, and you're gone. So absolute kudos to the folks from Sandhurst, and probably a lesson learned out there for the brothers in black.
So the first kick is up and good, which brings the score to 7 with 14 minutes in. The kick will now go back to Sandhurst, and Army will get back to work.
Yeah, we've been talking about this youth out here in the black. I was just reviewing the numbers. I'm pretty sure wearing the C, proverbially speaking, is Lucas Perez as a second class or a cow for us. The only upperclassmen, all other 14 starters are plebes or yearlings, freshmen and sophomore.
So solid work so far by the young brothers, and we'll see if they can come out and get the job done, get some points on the board.
Goes backwards.
Backward on the mishandle, so everything is okay. We'll continue to play. And now out into the wing, and a nice little inside ball. Little bit isolated, but the ruck is there. Now it comes out.
Not seen on the broadcast are Colin McGee's hand and arm signals pointing out the space to the kicker and where they should go with the ball. I love this column. Keep it up.
Yeah, I was taking that one as recycle it faster. Is that
yeah,
we got that there?
Make these Sandhurst boys work.
Hands are on the ball, and referee says, yep, he was able to get his hands on, and that's going to be the poach positive. So ball comes back to the team in red, and they'll likely go ahead and try to find touch again. Ball is up and finds touch. Line judge gives us the signal, and so the line out will go to Sandhurst.
First 20 minutes, everybody's just feeling each other out. I think these teams are feeling each other out internally and then even against each other as we're working through this.
So that one a little bobbled, but won by West Point. And now they're going to get back to work and hopefully get a few tactics that can break the line. You can see Sandhurst has 2 deep, so they're expecting the kick. They dropped a 3rd deep, and there it is. Ball is up. It's handled. And we'll see if they decide to kick it back. A little throw over the top. Good tackle and an attempt at the strip. Not able to do it. Now the ball comes out. Got a couple of numbers here. And some quick ball work. Looking to find the width. Oof, big head contact. That, I think, is going to result in a penalty. Yeah, that's high contact. Both players seem to be okay, which is good. But that's going to result in a penalty to Sandhurst.
Looks like that was Keegan out on the wing. Keegan Lynch.
It's a good kick, and right around the 22-meter line is where the throw will be.
Like to see a little bit more of an organized lift from the Black Knight defense there. I think we're coming in a little bit porous. They're getting some shoulders through, making us scramble a little bit, not getting the shoulder contact we want.
And now Sandhurst shows them all. Referee says it's on. Army does a nice job of redirecting, but it is still moving forward. There's the breakoff, and now the offload. Tackle's on, but not before they get the ball to the 5-meter line. Ball's available. Now it's off the base. Big drive by both sides. Still.
Siege, boys.
The dive at the post was not successful. Couple of big tackles there. Got some hands on the ball, so they're trying to get under it. That's good work by them. Here comes the blast tackle. It's done well. Good drive by the Sandhurst player, but still not able to get across the line. Here comes that pogo drive. Referee right on the spot to see. Ball is available. Again, the pick and go. Very, very close. Really hard to see, but not across yet. Now to the inside runner. And that time is able to cross and get the points down. So the hand goes up, making it 12. With another kick essentially under the posts.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that bend but don't break mentality. You know, we like to say burn the boats down there when we're inside that 5 meters. I think Sandhurst sensed that a little bit, had a little dummy runner, put it right back inside after he sold out on that first runner. So another lesson to be learned.
So the kick is up and good, making it 14 with about 19 in, so about 21 left to play in this first half.
It was patient, too. It wasn't rushed. They're doing everything very deliberately, and unfortunately, it all started off from the high tackle right there that got him inside that 22, so...
So the question now becomes urgency versus panic, right? I mean, a little early to be panicking, got plenty of time to play. How does West Point keep the urgency up and start moving the ball, guys?
Yeah, no, I think stick to the game plan. You know, I didn't get a chance to see what they've got posted in the locker room this week, but usually every week they've got a couple areas that they're going to focus on. I have to think that one of the things that they focused on in training is next play, right? Like, don't worry about what's happened, if it was a mistake or if it was an amazing try. Just settle down, do your job, and focus on the next play.
So that's a good way to start. You see the kick went up. It found the green and bounced out, which means the territory has been gained. The ball will go to Sandhurst, but not before you've gained solid almost, 35, 40 meters here. So,
No, I love that kick. This is Sandhurst's third line out. They've lost 2, only won 1.
that
Seems
one
like that's a bit of
is
a...
lost as well. So coming through there is the number 2, able to get the ball. Looked to me like the hands are on, but he was over the top, and that's what the referee says. Yeah, you came over, you weren't supporting your own weight, and then you tried to put your hands on the ball. So now the question will be, are we able to get the kick to the corner and then maybe show that maul again? It's a nice, easy kick, well placed, and looks to me like maybe about 6 meters out the line out will form.
So we'll see what Sandhurst does here. The penalty on the last maul that we tried at the midfield was because Sandhurst didn't compete. So we'll see if they try to compete in this maul or if our guys recognize that.
We did compete.
They're in for
they
sure.
go.
And here we go. No, referee has a signal. It looks to me like they are pulling that down or attempting to, which is, of course, illegal. And referee has his arm out, so
Probably
he felt so
offsides.
too.
Yes.
Nice
Free
little
one.
step. Now the decision's to be made. Bangs it forward, gets a few. Good low shoulder position. There's the number 8 you're talking about. Man, he's getting some drive on. That thing's going forward. All is well so far. Sandhurst going to look to get their hands under the ball and hold it up. Can't tell if referee's still playing the advantage there, but could be. Here's the pick and drive.
Stay patient. Stay patient.
Knocking on the door, trying to bring it forward. Now the ball comes out to the wing. This should be an easy score, and there it is.
Oh, get a couple more meters. Keep running inside. Keegan Lynch on the try.
So Army West Point on the board with 5. No favor for the kicker there, as you said, but able to get it and dot it down, which of course is the number 1 job in that situation. So well done. And now we'll see what the kicker looks like here from just outside the 15-meter line. And so I'm going to make an attempt here. Is that
Colby
Street?
Strickty. Colby
Strickty. I didn't want to butcher the name, but I did anyway. So Colby, good luck.
Missoula, Montana native. He's at a company, C1. Go Celts. I'm a former regimental tactical officer for 1st Reg, so I appreciate anybody that's wearing the 1st Regimental patch. Let's see what he's got.
It's a good strike, just a little wide of the left post. Plenty of power on it, just a little bit off the mark and not able to get those next 2 points. But the good news is Army will come back and get the ball. So this is the position you want to be in. 16 and a half minutes left to play in the first half. Put 5 on the board. It's 14-5. And I think the take-home message you have to take from that last series is we can run on these guys. We can make the movement happen. We can work together and get some continuity, move the ball forward.
Yeah. The blessing of the competing at that breakdown with Sandhurst is that it can also be their curse. That kind of was sprung from a hands in the ruck call. We got down there. They pulled down our maul. We had the free one that we eventually scored.
So it looks like Max Welling is going to step off and get some medical attention. Looks to be okay with the trainer, and that's Tyler Anderson heading out to be what I'm guessing is a blood replacement. So we'll see. That usually gives you about 5 minutes and you can come back on. So we'll see how that goes. Kick is up, travels 10, fielded cleanly, and into a lot of red jerseys. So 3 on the tackle there. So you figure there's numbers somewhere when you're committing that many. And here it goes forward. Nice clean out. So Army seems to have made some decisions on that contact area, and they're really going in there trying to clean things out. Looks to me like pretty well positioned. Going to see if we got a box kick lined up. Scrum half looks to be considering it, and there it is. It's up high. We'll see what kind of pressure. This could be good. Oh, real questionable, but it bounces into the number 8's hands, who looks for the 11. Going to see what kind of speed we've got. This time he's heading toward the center. Dots it down for 5 more, and now we have a game.
Oh, man, I hope you caught that on camera. Jordan Thompson, so excited, does the right thing, offloads it to the fastest person on the pitch, and he's so fired up, he gives a chest bump to Matt Doyle, one of our water guys, and knocks him clean on his butt. So Jordan Thompson, not only local out of USMAPS, but also local out of James I. O'Neill High School, right out of here, out of Highland Falls. So super excited to see him help start that playoff.
So that worked out quite well. There was a little groan you might have heard on the broadcast there because, again, this is some of the intelligence, the IQ that you see in some of these players. Sandhurst player sort of running down to defend the kick and just may have gotten an inch in the way there of the gentleman coming down from West Point. So good work by both squads. Good concentration by the 8 to keep his eyes on the ball and make it happen. Looks like we've got a new kicker. This is Ricky Corbett, who looks like he's going to take the strike at the sticks.
Potentially even a penalty with that new law of shielding that receiver as Jordan Thompson was coming down.
I did not like that either.
100% a penalty. The kick is up, and that one splits the uprights nicely to add 2 more. Yeah, without a doubt, that would be, if the referee saw it, a penalty, because you cannot shield the kicker or the receiving player at all anymore. But as they say, sometimes the dark arts here in rugby, they happen. So.
Great to see Ricky be able to meet that kick at a company G4, one of our yearlings. Go Guppies, Ricky.
Looks to me like possibly our try scorer is limping off a little bit of a hamstring. That's Lynch. Ball is up and fielded. Now the ball comes out, and Sandhurst looking for some space.
Yeah,
That's
Luke
George
Johnson
Cohen.
not able to get up high enough to field that ball, it looked like.
We're going to test that width on the left again. This time, West Point up to the task. Really good front foot defense here, and the ball is available, going to come out again. Little footwork, but met with solid tackling. Little skip pass. It's pretty isolated. We'll see if the poach is on here. That looked pretty good to me, and it looks like West Point has the ball. Referee says play on.
Great play by Nolan Greenwood, set up by a great tackle.
I'm just amazed at how quickly they're getting to their feet. The ground skills, both on attack and on defense, really impressive from West Point right now.
So the punch forward, one after another, results in a few meters, but now right back in that scenario they were in last time. So here we see the potential box kick. It's up. This one a little bit longer. Maybe a little over kicked, which makes it a bit of an easy clean and clear. 15 brings it into contact.
Looked like he lost that forward in contact.
Yeah, it did look like it came a little forward there. Now the ball's out and it's going to come back. That's a low ball, fielded nicely. Going to be sent back. Unfortunately, that one's going to come straight out. So Schmidlin sends it directly out. And for those that don't know, if you are in front of the 22 and it comes directly out, it should be back to the place where it was kicked. Referee and the line judge, the AR, having a conversation, and that is the conclusion.
And if you hear all the hooting and hollering and maybe a funny accent, not only are the fellas on the field from Sandhurst, but they've got all their military skills competitors. Probably talk a little bit more in the broadcast about Sandhurst, the competition going on this week, but they've got all their teammates out in support here in the stands today.
Ball is in.
Straight.
Referee says not straight. And so, ball will go back to the Black Knights. Little conversation. Looks like they've elected to take the scrum, not the line out. And so they have the choice there. And so they said, we'll take the scrum.
Might be too early to call it a weakness, but a pattern. 5 lineouts for Sandhurst. They've only won 1 so far.
So the scrum is set. The call is made. Referee's going to just say, hey, let's restart this and settle some things. Little clarification maybe on the binds, and we'll do it again.
Maybe get that Court Spindlin left boot busy again and fine touch this time.
Yeah, this time well within the 22, so that one going straight out would be okay here. One of those rules that those who don't know the game at home often sort of wonder what exactly is happening. The ball comes out into the width. It's going to fight to stay in, does so. Good groundwork, and the ball is over. Referee says, you got it, though. So the 8-man for Sandhurst, that's Jack Coffin, was able to get his hands on the ball and keep it. And that's going to be not 10 meters. And so the penalty was awarded. It looked like maybe there was a quick tap there. Contact early. Clarification. He walked. The Army player walked away with the ball in hand instead of releasing it to prevent the quick tap, and that resulted in a subsequent penalty. So now the kick to the corner, it puts them somewhere around 10 meters out. And referee is clarifying the channel for both teams. It's up, it's fielded, the maul is formed, not going anywhere, now gains some traction and gains a few meters. Being met with some resistance.
Truck and trailer.
And now the break off. That time it's broken off, so the tackle is fine. Referee trying to get in there and see what's happening on the ground. Arm is out, which means it's going to be a scrum to Army. So the knock on, lost forward on the ground, and referee says we're going to scrum it down. So I heard you say truck and trailer. That is a that's something again that if rugby heads would know. But give us the overview. What
Yeah, I thought he might have broke off there. Lost the ball carrier. Might have lost that shoulder contact with the maul. Turns into sort of an obstruction-like scenario there, but a bit nitpicky by me, I think. He's closer than I am.
Yes, that's always the kindness we put forth. As someone who's been at the center, we appreciate that when the broadcasters say, "Oh, he must have been right." Yeah, maybe not. Who knows? So we're going to reform the scrum. And I guess I'd call it probably about 7 meters, maybe 7 meters out. So dangerous territory. They're going to want to win this ball cleanly and come up with an exit.
Yeah, I know Coach Sherman always likes to play a territorial game. I don't think this is what he would call them.
Oh, no.
That one stings a little. That's a penalty that goes to Sandhurst. I can't quite tell the hand, but now the ball comes out. It's tapped and away. Big hit. Big flying ruck. Now we'll see that patience and tap and go. Ball is picked up. Again, driving forward. Referee says, you knocked it, though. That's unfortunate if you're a fan of the red and yellow. Very fortunate if you're a fan of the black and gold. So we'll see another scrum, and this one will go to the Black Knights.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes back and forth, whether it's line out, scrum, or they're in contact. Not what you want to see.
So the clock continues to tick, 34 in the bank, and another 6 or 7 left to play in this first half. Of course, the time officially is kept on the field by the referee, but that should be pretty close. This time the penalty goes to West Point. And referee says you were pulling him down. So you're pulling down in the scrum. Again, the binds have to be on and the drive has to be straight officially. And there's usually a little room for play there, but referee felt that was too much. This is not a short kick.
No.
Right in the middle of the field. This is an ambitious kick if you're the kicker. Scott, not quite enough to make it out, but the chase is on.
Yeah, full-size pitch. That's 35 meters to get right from the middle if you were to go straight out.
Big hard drive. Ball's available. Comes out again. Nice little pod for some blocking play there. And now we'll see what happens. They're going to call over for some numbers because you got a lot of red out there on the left side of the screen. Tackle's made. And now we'll see if the fold and shift can play. There's a gap here. He's going to look to exploit it, but the tackle is made. A little pop from the ground. Now it swings right. Met with contact. Nice little offload on the way down. The ball movement is impressive, but that time it knocks on, and it's going to be advantage, knock-on advantage to Black. Looks like we've got a player down there. That's 13, Greenwood, who's going to get some attention. Looks like maybe a contact to the shoulder. Hopefully he's doing okay. So some good ball movement there. You can really see the skills. And as you said before, sometimes these players from the other side of the Atlantic tend to have a little bit more touch on the ball, a little bit more, I guess, experience and time in the sport than we do here in the States. And it certainly looked like it there. I mean, they just move the ball one after another after another.
Yeah, disappointed to see Nolan down there. I thought he actually had a pretty good tackle there. The Sandhurst player played that off the deck, kept that quick ball going. But just too much time and on our back feet back here guarding our try line.
Yeah, it's a great point, right? That is one of those things that any rugby fan knows. It's hard to defend for long stretches of time. It's even harder to do it when you're pinned against your try zone. And it takes a tremendous amount of energy to make that tackle after tackle. And it also sort of takes a lot of mental, emotional energy to stay in the focus in that space.
Yeah, I think they had 6 or 7 tackles on that one phase alone. It's hard enough to play one tackle for one phase on defense, but everybody's selling out there. It looks like Nolan's about ready to get to his feet, which is fortunate.
This exit strategy right here is huge. Like, we kind of haven't been successful the last couple times. I'd like to see what we come up with here to flip this field position a little bit.
Yeah, 5 minutes to play, sort of pinned inside your own 22. I would think it's a pivotal moment in the game.
Yeah, what do you do, Colin? Maybe a couple phases, set a base, fire it out, or try to do something while you're behind the 22?
I would like to eventually get the touch, maybe with Court's left boot. Don't go outside of our 22. Make them do an attacking line out again. They've kind of proven that that's not their success here, so it might not be very deep, but at least we're moving.
Moving it forward. That's right. Get to go forward one way or another.
That's a lot of thought from us up here in the booth. I wonder if they're thinking all that down there, being in the thick of it. I hope so.
It's a great low platform. Ball's out. Comes across. Going to test that width.
Yeah,
Could do it. They're coming across hard. There's the kick. It's a high ball. It's going to hang. We'll see what kind of chase we've got. It's fielded cleanly by the 15. Now across the field. Good attempt. Not held. Referee says.
Are we hurt?
Are we stopping
upset
for injury potentially? Referee has signaled time is off. And not exactly sure what the call is here. Going to be a conversation.
I think he saw Brock Anderson down. I don't think Brock was hurt. I think he was just more upset that he missed the tackle.
So referee stopped it, which means it's going to be a scrum to the team who had the ball, which was Sandhurst. So it'll be a scrum here, but that's some pretty good territory gained in the exit. So that's what you were suggesting is we need to get out of that deep territory and bring it down the field a bit. They did.
I'll kind of take it. We stopped their counterattack without even having to make a tackle. Now we got a scrum.
That's a fair point. It worked out okay there. Yeah.
And caught a little breath for those guys that were chasing on that kick.
Just like they drew it up, right? So they can
Great
keep their
view.
position. They're in a good spot there. Here's the pick.
Oh,
Comes to
Jordan,
the
you got to get out
outside.
there.
The winger comes in. That one looked a little forward to me, but referee felt it was okay. Yeah, and there it is. So Nate, apparently your
I'm such a
direct
homer.
line is
Yeah.
is making its way to the referee because you
Yes.
called it, he saw it and made the call. I think that was a fair call. It was a little forward on that handful.
Maybe I'm just representative of everybody out there. Don't we all scream at the television or scream at the referee, or maybe just calmly?
I never yell at the referee. The eye roll here from the crew who knows me a little bit better. And so the scrum will form again as the clock continues to tick down. The clock on the field is showing 3:25 left to play, which is about what we have on the screen at 39 in. So we're a minute or two off here, but we'll see which one is closer to the mark. And there's the call. Ball is placed, hooked well. Now brought out. It's going to challenge. Goes forward. Great ruck speed there to seal it off. That was well done. Now comes out again. Little show and go. Takes it himself.
We like our box kick here with a heavy, heavy chase that scored our try with Jordan and Keegan. We'll see what we do here.
It's a good chop tackle, but Army able to retain it. Still going to drive on. Yeah, I think you're right. We could see something here if we can get clean ball. Attempt at the counter ruck. It worked out a little there, but here's that box kick starting to line up here. Comes across. There it is. Nice high ball. Got the chase. This is a nice ball. It's in good position. It's taken well, but it's tackled cleanly. So really good good work on both sides of the ball there, on both sides of that kick. Ball comes out.
Hospital pass.
Yeah, that could have been a bit on the ribs there. Here's the ball back up. The spiral bomb makes its way. Oh, unfortunately takes a hop. Not a real big chase, though, so we've got some time to make it work and likely going to send it back. And there it is.
Oh,
Mishandled pass, and that's going to work out well for the Black Knights. And so the attempt at the catch there didn't work out for the 9 and mishandled and knock on, and therefore we'll see the scrum.
Yeah, knocked into touch. I don't know if they're going to get the option of the scrum or the line out, or if look, line out, smart.
Okay, so line out it is, and
saw Joe Manning sending the sign in.
Did you? Probably the most experienced one of us all out here.
it's a clean line out. Shown them all, but brought back in. Like the inside attempt there. That could have been okay. Now comes back out. Nice line break. Oh, unfortunately, a little bit, lost on the way down and retained there by Sandhurst. Ball comes out. Gonna try to find touch here. Ref flag is up. The AR signals that the player was in touch, and referee says that is going to be it for the half. And so, with the AR making the signal that they're in touch, I heard the multiple whistles, and referee's going to confirm that and says, yep, that is halftime. Go ahead and take a break.
Really nice work by Wyatt McAllister and Hunter Norris down there. 2 new guys to the club. Wyatt, first semester on the club, working hard there. Get him to touch, get out of this half.
Yeah, well done to save what was a little bit of a crummy position. Would have liked to have seen them keep the ball in hand if they could have on that last possession. I think, with the clock on the referee's hand, I don't know what that was, but they were inside a minute. Really want to shield possession at that point. Give yourself a little bit more opportunity. But, yeah, I think we closed it out. What we were saying a couple minutes ago, it was 14-0. What do we need to do? And they did a good job to battle back. They did, the Army side.
Yeah, I would agree. Very, very solid work there to come back from down 14 and really, sort of losing the momentum early. It felt like the momentum was really going in the direction of the Sandhurst team, but battled, get that try, get on the board, kind of get your legs back under you, wake back up and get to work. And to me, it looked like that's what they did. They kept kind of chugging away, finding spaces, making something happen. And then, of course, that second try with a kick certainly helped. So 14-12 at halftime. and pretty solid effort on both sides of the ball. With that in mind, I mean, what would you like to see? What are the impacts in the second half that you'd like to see?
I think I would go back to what we were just looking at in this last minute of the second half. Just be a little bit more patient with the ball in hand. You know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of reps to be able to know when you can get that offload, especially in contact. So just take the safe play, trust your mates that they're going to come over and allow another phase of rugby.
Colin, anything to add?
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more rugby played in the Sandhurst end. The box kick with the heavy chase is good. That was a strong take by that Sandhurst player. I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to do that every time. But we also got to start playing some phases down in their end and maybe ball in hand a little bit more, as Colonel Conkey was saying, and see if we can play out of our end a little bit.
So get into their end of the field, put some pressure on them, see if we can get some phases strung together and look for some cracks in their defense. Yeah, fair. So with about 7.5 left here at halftime, we're going to go ahead and put the microphones down for a minute. You'll get to see the scoreboard tick down, and as the teams make their way back to the field, we'll pick it back up. Thanks again for joining us here on Night Vision. And welcome back. So as the clock ticks down on halftime, we hear the music, and the teams are making their way back to the field. On the right side of the field, the Army Black Knights, who will make their way to the left side of the field to switch sides. And on the opposite side, it'll be Sandhurst in the red and yellow. We've got a 14-12 score line, 40 minutes back on the clock. I mean, we're almost starting over. I mean, about as close to 0-0 as you can get. So we're expecting some fun stuff here in the second half. And looks like the energy has not changed one bit.
In the booth or on the field? What are we talking about?
Well, here in the booth, I mean, it's all top gear, but all gas, no brakes, as they like to say. But on the field as well, I think. So far, so good. Got the final laces being tied. Referee at the center. Go ahead and reset the clock so we can watch the 40. The referee says, we're on. Kick is up. Cannon fires, travels 10, and it's fielded. Good tackle. The poach, not successful. Ball comes back out. Little flip there. And a good hard drive. Ball is placed. This time the ruck not challenged. Ball comes across. Big pressure there by the number 1. It just continues to drive. Strips the ball, and now we are ready to play. Well done.
Isaac Carter from Pennsylvania, first semester on the team.
Go Greeks out of G1. Good job.
Nice
Isaac.
flick to the outside. So the ball movement looks good. Ruck in. Ball across. And back out again. Little inside flick. Nice meters gained. Cycled again. Step by the 12. About 4 meters to go. Ball's available. Drives forward for 1. Attempt at the pick and go. Nothing doing. Comes across. Good double tackle. Ball is available again. Here's the pick. That time able to find it, and that's the number 8. So that's Jordan Thompson putting the ball down, adding 5 right on the opening minute to the scoreline. And now the Army West Point Black Knights take the lead for the first time. That is good work. All starts with the strip.
Fun to see. Nice patience, great fundamentals. I mean, we pointed out Isaac Carter on that steal. Hasn't been playing the game for a long time, but man, just the athleticism and that physicality is going to do you well in this game.
And yeah, that's a pretty heads-up play because he's in the tackle, driving the guy backward, and then somehow on the way down, able to get his hand on the ball, strip it out. I mean, you know, not sure he was thinking that I'll do that, but maybe just a reaction. But man, that's good stuff. Looks to be Trout lining up for the kick, number 12.
Yeah, you got better eyes than I do, but if that is Nick down there. Nice Indiana boy. Slots the kick.
And it's good. So Nick Trout adds the extras, bringing it up to 19-14 with only 3 minutes gone in the second half. That is the way you hope to start if you're the Army Black Knights or a fan of the Army Black Knights. And so this is Ben Kennison with the ball in hand, is going to drive it up. That one does not look to go 10. It is played. Referee says not, did not travel 10, and so it will come back. So again, for those who are new to the game, the ball on a restart has to travel 10 meters in the air before it can be played by the kicking team. It could be played there by the receiving team, but they chose not to wisely, and they'll get the scrum at the center.
Love a scrum center, a lot of options left and right. See what we cook up here. Good attacking platform.
So it looks like Army's got the backs split, as is the tradition in this situation. And we'll see which way the ball comes out and what they decide to do. Space is your friend in a situation like this, which is why this is such a great spot. Referee says, we're going to start it again. Does not appear like there's an infraction. So just going to reset, do it again.
Yeah, Colin, you know your scrums better than I do. Are you seeing anything? I've seen the ball pop out like that several times over. Is that just a misstrike on our part, or is it pressure? What's happening?
Yes, sir. I haven't seen the detail of it. I think what is kind of interesting to note is you have Bach Anderson, not a natural front rower or new to the front row position. George Hemmon is new to the front row position. JT typically a back in the front row. So Coach Sherman's got a little creative with the younger guys, putting them into some new positions, which might affect a little bit. 50-22.
So that's Schmidlin, who is able to make the kick. Nice little ball, drops in for the 50-22. So again, a relatively new law here in 15s rugby, which is if you are behind the 50 and the ball travels out beyond the 22, you get the line out. And so this is a pretty big momentum play if you are a Black Knights fan.
Yeah, a huge heads up to see that space out there to begin with, and then to be able to execute the kick on top of it is impressive.
Lineout's up, fielded cleanly. They show maul,
That's
does not look to
sack.
be contested. Referee says it's okay, but we're going to pull the ball out. So now the double tackle forms from Sandhurst. You can see them starting to commit multiples into the tackle, but Army able to continue to clean it out. So ball continues to travel toward the right side. Now going to come back to the other side. Comes across.
Great defense by Sandhurst.
Pretty good contact there. Yeah, I agree. Patience on the fold. Good conversation. You can see him calling for the pull. Mishandled but brought back in, so all's well. Ball's still going to stay with the Black Knights. Big come across there for the 9, but not able to complete it. Got some space out here. We've got a bit of a 2-on-1. Ball is left, but referee says that one was forward. So the pass, trying to create the width, travels forward, which means that it's going to go back to the red and gold in the scrum.
To emphasize the effect of that defense that you all were just talking about, that started with like a line out on like what, the 7-meter line?
Yep.
Pushed them all outside the 22. Pretty impressive. That started with our 50-22 that I thought we would seize the opportunity there, but
Yeah, I think they're averaging, I don't know how many phases that just ran, but that was probably -1 or -2 meters per tackle. That was impressive by Sandhurst.
So we got a Sandhurst player down, getting some attention by the trainer. Could be something as simple as a cramp, not able to tell really, but gives both teams a little bit of a break, and the water comes out, a little bit of rehydration. So they'll pick it up from here with a scrum to Sandhurst. But yeah, I think your point is really well taken. I mean, that was sort of phase after phase of pretty stiff defense and not gaining any meters, so gonna have to think that one through.
And I'd hope that they're talking about getting that maul organized. You know, I don't know if it's what Sandhurst's doing, if it's what the ref is missing. But it's been a couple times where they've been able to bring that down, and that's definitely one of the strengths of this squad.
So maybe a conversation with the referee if you're the captain, just sort of ask for some clarification there of what are we seeing? Why is that not pulling it down? I mean, if contact is being made and then it sort of drops pretty fast, it begs a question. Again, for those who don't know the ins and outs, essentially the maul, once it's formed and called a maul, can't be brought down. It can't be pulled to the ground. You got to maintain your feet, and you got to be able to kind of push this thing one way or the other until it stops. So, yeah, that getting a couple of head nods here from the crew watching, and we're seeing, yeah, it does look like maybe it's coming down a little bit fast and furious. So there must be something there. Sandhurst player number 7 rejoins the game. That's the captain, Joe Finnis. It seems to be okay. So the clock is back on the field, and apologies to those at home. We did not get the signal of the time off, so we're showing 33 left to play here on the field, and we're going to let it run there on the screen. And there's the call. Ball is in. It's hooked, but driven backward. Now the ball comes out, and there's the little chip over. So just behind the center is not a bad choice if they can pull it off, but it's fielded nicely. And some space to run. This is the 10. Going to try to move out there. Still got an outside man in Schmidlin. Schmidlin's going to
wow.
find it. Well played. If the pass is okay, referee says it is, and the try is awarded. So the cannon sounds, and we add 5 more to the score line. That was really good vision there to see the outside runner and just make the simple pass.
That's the exact word I had in my head was vision. First of all, to see the space out in front of him, get a good probably 15, 20 meters. As soon as he starts to fend with his right, he sees his teammate out wide to the left and gives it. That was impressive. As I try to tell my little 9 and 10-year-old soccer players, green means go, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
So he's able to slip 1 tackle there, 2 tackles even. But yeah, I think that the unselfish sort of dish off to the corner where you know you have somebody in better position, man, that works out. So can't quite see who's going to take this strike, but it is not an easy one by any stretch outside the 15-meter.
It's a try score. Or I'm sorry, Court scored the try set up by Colby. Colby's hit my conversion here.
He took the rest of that run off, right? I saw him hit that pass. He just raised his hands up.
Big chase. Ball is up. And unfortunately not gonna add the extras on that one. That's a good solid strike though from really pretty far. But the best news, of course, is that you get the ball back. And so here, with really some early momentum in this second half, put the score to 24-14 and make it a 2-score game.
First 10 minutes, all West Point.
And that one's going to abandon the kicker again, unfortunately. So not going to be 10. Bounce forward, and it's playable.
Knock.
Referee says we're going to play on. So really unfortunate set of circumstances there. Didn't go 10, but the ball is live. Referee was playing it. And so now Sandhurst takes the ball and going to try to make something happen. A nice little looping run, finds some space, has the 11 in the width. Big challenge in the corner, but they're able to dot it down. That's Noah Cannon who gets his second on the day. The winger out in the width makes it happen. So that's unfortunate because that's just maybe a lapse in understanding, a lapse in rugby IQ to let that ball settle and bounce. And unfortunately, that one worked against him.
Yeah, just the experience. You said it, right? And we've probably all been there, whether we've been playing for a year or 10 years or anything else, you just lose sight. So unfortunate that it resulted in a try, certainly that quick, but next play.
And so Kennison lines up for the kick from just about as wide as you can be, maybe a meter off the touchline here. It's a good strike. It's on line, but it's going to drop just a meter short. So kudos to the kicker. I mean, that's a solid job there to put the ball that far and on point, but not long enough, unfortunately, for them. So 24-19, the score. And now Army will take their chance at the restart.
I feel like there was some energy in the air, and then that just happened. It just kind of...
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. You can feel a little bit of a deflating sensation, but the kick is up, and now we'll try to get the momentum back. Good chase here by the 14. Bounces off a couple, but not able to continue. Ball comes out, but it was backward. Jackal attempt. Not sure if he's got hands on. Referee says no. And number 4, the big run. And they are ahead of the 22, so we'll see. Going to continue to run out. That's the cap. That's the 8. Sorry.
Yeah, Colin, I'm reading your hand and arm signals again, asking them to get low and get low on these tackles. Probably see a little bit more effect.
Solid tackle there by Tyler Anderson, 21. And they're just looking to string these phases one after another. They do seem to be doing a really nice job bouncing off that first contact and getting a few extra meters. So that's something that I think stands out is that, we're not seeing that kind of forward positive tackle. And they're getting that shoulder in. So sort of chipping away is Sandhurst. And now the ball is up. Big kick fielded on the fingertips by Schmidlin, who sends it back. And now with the 9, the chase comes up. And another. So we got a little bit of kick tennis going on. And this one's going to take a bounce. It takes an odd bounce and going to have to be a courageous play here. That one goes forward off the hands of the 7. So the captain Finnis loses it in contact, which means it's going to be a scrum to Army. But yeah, a little bit of a collective breath hold there in that kick chase.
I don't know if I'm making all that noise into the microphone, but there are some breath holds and some oohs and ahs and whatnot, living vicariously with the folks on the field.
So the scrum forms. Army will have the put in. About 38 meters on their side. Good low body position, very stable. Now the ball comes out. Flick into the width. Nice little kick for some territory. Going to see if this bounces and where it goes from here. Takes a straight up bounce, but the pressure's there. It's able to step the first tackler. And that puts the 11, who's had a very productive day. Oh, that time the grubber not effective. And now Army in good position. Ruck is formed.
A lot of work on the ground there.
That time comes back out. Big tackle. That is the number 2, Brock Anderson, who just lights up the opponent. Times that tackle just about perfectly. And now the ball goes back to West Point. There's a little kick over the top. Nobody home, so it's going to got some little bit of green space there to play with.
Oh,
Chase is on. Now we'll see if they decide to kick it back. The run out of the 22, and that poach attempt looked okay, but the clean out was effective.
some tired legs out there.
Yeah, the kick chase did seem to be not quite as fast. And the bump off, but the jackal attempt and a big clean out. So the contact area is really pretty impressive on both sides of the ball. You're starting to really see people flying in.
Yeah, no chance to take a rest anywhere right now. I don't know how many minutes of nonstop action we've been going, but can't find any
Flat
respite.
pass, that one, yeah, that one was forward. Sort of a straight angle for us here in the booth, and you could really see it. Referee was in good position to make that call as well. Ball travels forward in the pass, which means it's going to be a scrum down to black. Yeah, good point. That was the first break for what seemed like minutes there. So
I think Colby Strickty's very tactical in the space that he's seen. It is an odd-shaped ball. I think he was a little bit unlucky right there. Bounced their way as opposed to ours. He found that space over there, settled back into the game. But if you say the first 10 minutes of this half was to West Point, these next 5 minutes have definitely been to Sandhurst.
Yeah, really want to see your captain right here. You know, if it's Lucas Perez out there as the senior guy, really get the guys settled. Make sure we know what's going on. Again, next play, take a deep breath. Let's get back after it. Offsides.
the ball comes out. Here's the kick into space. Unfortunately, that one travels directly out. Doesn't find the turf first, which means it's going to come back. And it looks like we're right about 10 meters off the center. So right at the 40, maybe let's call it. Yeah, pretty much right at the 40 meter.
This will be a nice time for a poach, Black.
So it looks like they've switched to a walk-up line out. Possibly they read your stats call there as well and said, listen, the lineout's not working like we hope it would. Let's see if we can get some movement. We'll do the walk-up. There it is, but it's stolen again. And so West Point with the ball. The ball is formed, and it's traveling forward. We'll see if they can maintain it. Pressure has been on. Looks to me like hands are on, and referee says traveled forward. And so that's going to be a scrum down to Sandhurst.
Is that the opposite of the announcer's curse, where you call the poach and the line out? I don't want to try to replicate it here at the scrum.
So a lot of work drops them 1 meter back, and this time it'll be a scrum, not a line out. But the set piece once again goes to Sandhurst, and swing low is starting to form here in the stands. For those that know English rugby, you know that is conversation. Very interesting play there by the 9.
Joe Manning did not like that.
To put the ball back into the channel. That's that experience. Is that what you would call it? That experience again? Line break, but able to be cleaned up. Now it comes out. A little bit of a gap there. Tackles on. Through the hands. I don't know if that was an intentional tips ball, but it worked out.
I'd like to see this lift be a bit more organized. I think we're making triangles.
Yeah, the vertical gaps are forming, and we've seen them get through a couple times.
That off the hands, but backward. Referee was satisfied. No obstruction there, but this time we've got the poach, and the jackal attempt is successful. Try to get a number for you there, but that's a great job. Courageous move to get your hands on. That's number 12, Nick Trout. So got his hands on the ball, and now the penalty goes to Army.
Yeah, no singing from the Sandhurst fans after that one.
So going to try to find touch. It's a good ball, and it does find touch, and really solid strike. Many meters gained, and that's going to put them just outside the 22. So,
and we see some heavy guys coming on, one of which I see Red Barnes getting some playing time. And I can't see who else is on there. Maybe Jonah.
Andrew Francis.
Okay.
Yep, see Andy Francis wearing 17, and Barnes wearing the 18 jersey. So some fresh legs coming on. Some
George Hemmon and Isaac Carter coming out. Good 60 minutes by both of them.
Yeah, fair point. Solid play there. And Carter was the one who had the strip, so that's a good work there by the prop. And got to be happy with the day. Now the line out will go to black. Looks like they're going to send another person into the line out to match the numbers. And throw is up. It's over, and it's fielded cleanly. So referee says maul is on. Now let's see what can happen. He's off his feet, but the ball is still moving. It's clean work, still traveling forward. Now it finds ground. Inside the 22. Going to have to really be clean here in the ruck.
Possession's the name of the game. Just hold on to the ball. Go forward.
We score, they commit a penalty.
So solid work, and it sounds like they're following the plan. I mean, just gaining some meters each time, latching on, getting the drive. That was a little mishandled, and unfortunately, that one was knocked. So
Offensive offsides.
the referee says it was thrown forward, and there you were in front of it. So maybe it was off his foot, which meant you were in an offside position, can't play that ball. So they're going to get some relief here with the penalty. And it looks like we may have another substitute making his way toward the field. Could be Hartley making his way on. So as the clock continues to tick on the field, we're showing about 18, 19 minutes, which is pretty close to what we've got on the screen there. It's going to be a line out to Sandhurst. And, of course, as you can see, the score line is 24-19. This is anybody's game in a battle. It's challenged.
Knocked.
Referee says, yeah, that traveled forward off your hand, and so that knock-on will go to black. And so they trade mishandles, and Army back to work. About 30, maybe 35 meters to go.
8 total attacking lineouts for Sandhurst. They've only won 2.
Certainly seems like a point of pride for the Black Knights. They seem to be very comfortable in the line out, and really both set pieces. Don't know much about the the strategy or how much work gets done there, but I can tell you it's solid. You can see the platform, especially this half, has been pretty solid.
It's emblematic of what we try to do in the Army. If you do the basics, if you do the fundamentals, if you do routine things routinely, we know every game we're going to scrum and we're going to line out. So if you get good at that, we're going to be pretty good on the field.
So a little bit of an angle, but stable. And now the ball comes out. Unlucky pass. And that one says, again, offsides. So once again, some singing from the crowd. Again, a pretty far kick. And questionable choice, not going to find touch. And so it's going to get sent back. The 9 in good position to make the field. Now comes across the pitch. Little show and go. Keeps it himself and goes forward. The release is okay. Picks it up and goes again. Now the ball out. It's the number 16. Gore gains a few. Big hard tackle there. That's the positive tackle you're looking for. And now comes out the back. That was okay, referee says, and now the ruck is formed and the ball's available. Little dummy runner. This is Gore again, driven backward. Again, little dummy runner in the space. Double tackle. That's hard work there. That's 20, Hartley. It could have been 21. Anderson.
Shot. Oh,
The handoff of that
shot
one.
again.
And another big hard shot. So now Army's defense looking stiff, and Sandhurst will go ahead and deliver the ball. It's a very high ball in the sun, but it's fielded nicely, and it's sent back. Looking for some green space. It bounces in and finds touch. So that'll give him a second to reform, and that's a nice ball. Big territory gain. And it looks like Acuna Casey is making his way to the field, as is Merriman.
Yeah, we really want to see these fresh legs coming on, these reserve players, impact players. That's really what you want to see out of them. So not a reserve in name. Really, what are we going to do to impact the game?
So here's the line out. Looks like they're going to go long. That one is fielded and now brought out. Good hard work in the tackle. Ball's available. Sandhurst definitely making it hard to get out of that contact area after you're in it. They do a nice job of pinching down on the player trying to roll away. Here it is into the wing again. The try score. Gains a few. It's taken to the deck. There's the double tackle. Ball's a little mishandled. That one looked like it was high.
No, it was on his back.
So referee, unfortunately, looks to be going to the pocket on this one. So thought about it maybe, but
There's so much mitigation there. He changed height at the very last minute.
so yeah. So for those who don't know the game well, any contact with the head is frowned upon, to say the least, in the sport because of obviously the risk, the safety risk. The question mark, of course, is was he on the way down? Was he in a low position? And so did the tackler play in an unsafe way? Referee appears to be saying yes. And
The Keegan Lynch one down here
Yeah,
was way worse.
Yeah. No, it even looked like, and I've got the worst eyes of the three of us up here, but gosh, there it is, the yellow.
so there's
But
the
it was
yellow.
like chest to back. Like there was a spin, a turn, and a drop all at the same time. There was a wrap. Man,
So that would be Francis stepping off and will be in the bin for 10 minutes with about 14 remaining.
Been tuned in a little bit more to the Sandhurst cleanouts, and I heard it down there a little bit. It is aggressive, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, Mike, and they're holding us in there.
Yeah, they are They're definitely doing some work. This
Oh,
one
it's
up at the
coming.
booth.
Oh, catches it on the fly.
That would be a catch by the broadcast booth. Thanks for playing, folks. Well done there. Colum, great hands.
I was behind you and squinting and saying, Colin, please save me. That was well done.
So the
I'll
equipment
get
is
out there and
safe,
take
and we'll
it.
continue.
The lineout shouldn't be there then, right? Clearly it was.
That
There we
one's
go.
going to go
Take
to
it.
Army. And now,
I love getting that ball out.
here it comes. They've
Oh.
got some numbers. A little break here and a flick. We could be in business. Oh, lost a little bit on the ground. And referee says, yeah, that one knocked it on the ground. So that's unfortunate, but not before some territory gained. So the throw-in kind of went sideways there on Sandhurst. It was fielded by Army and brought it across the field rather quickly.
Saw Luke Johnson, the 7 out of Texas, come off. I didn't see who went on.
Isaac Carter went back on.
He returned to the game.
Yeah, probably because they need a front row capable player with Francis coming off.
So check me on this, but are we down? Okay, so it looks like we didn't replace the person in the pack, so we're down 1. Say the backs look like they had the right numbers.
Yeah, I think they went without an 8-man at the back of the scrum.
Again, really looking to make this 11 do the work there in the width. That's Cannon, who's had a good day. Referee says you came in from the side, and that's a penalty. The quick tap is on. Going to have to make this play here. There it is. Oh, backward, he says. So we play on. Tackle on the ball. Here's the pick. Big drive. Now out to the right. Met
That
by
is a good hard double tackle.
met by
Positive
some
grade.
stiff competition there, and the ball travels back about 7 to 10. Referee says, yeah, hands were in. Now the quick tap again. So playing with some fury here. Fielded by Schmidlin. Just going to smartly just exit. And with a great bounce, it then finds touch.
Looked like James Lowe back there.
That is solid work. Going to the left, gets the bounce, and then rolls out. Can't argue with that.
Can we get a 2250 rule? No? The opposite doesn't work?
So some pressure relief there for the Black Knights. Certainly you can see the tempo is increased by Sandhurst. They're trying to play the quick tap penalties, trying to really keep them on the back foot, push through, find some cracks. But Army's defense so far up to the challenge. 24-19 with 11 left to play. There's the throw. That one looked like maybe a little off the mark, but referee says it's okay. Here's the attempt at the double, but drive on and gets a few more. Now the ball comes out, and big pressure comes on. Oh, well done. Able to get it and holds the ball.
Wow.
That is some really good work there at the breakdown by Ricky Corbett, the 14. I mean, blasts through one, keeps his feet, gets hands on, and then retains it in contact. That's a moment you're going to be very happy with if you're a winger.
Yeah, this is where I would really wish for us to retain possession.
Box kick is up and finds touch directly, so it's going to come back. And yeah, that might be the announcer's curse you talked about there, because that one they're going to want back.
Yeah, we got another 6 minutes to burn off of this card, right? They're playing a man down. They're valiant defense. We just pointed it out, especially with Ricky at the take at that last breakdown.
They've actually started to have some success in their lineouts with this far pod. The past 2, they've gone far. They've won it. We'll see what they do here. Again.
Overthrow? You calling an overthrow right now? Is that what I just heard?
There it is, very far. Bounces, and we pick it up. That's Carter picking it up. Ball across. Well handled by Schmidlin to get a hand on that. A little kick. Oh, what is the... Not sure what the call is here. Conversation with Sandhurst.
Come back to the knock. Off the top. Off the pod.
So interesting. Okay, I had that as a... Looked like it was knocked forward off of Sandhurst.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's just explaining, just clarifying. It looked like he was asking for a choice. Do you want to play a line out or a scrum?
Yeah.
And I'm not okay. There we go. Okay, that certainly
So
looks
kicked away the possession.
And so that would be the number 8, Jordan Thompson, coming off. Really great game, and to the applause of the fans, that's good work all day long. And so this is a big scrum. Again, trying to kill some time here if you're Army, trying to get that back to full numbers and get your full strength out of the sin bin. Referee says the time is off. And so a conversation to determine exactly what we're going to do here. And so the time is back on. And we'll set up the scrum. There's the call. That one goes down. Referee says free kick came across. So again, the short arm is the free
back
kick.
10, back 10.
Meaning that not a penalty, a minor infraction. And so they're going to want to keep this on the field of play. And so the tap and go out to the pod.
Lift,
there it is.
boys.
Good hard
Shot,
contact by Carter. Played, looked to be, I thought he was on the ground there, but maybe not. Tackle. And now out again to the right side of the screen. Little bit of space there.
Critical gaps.
Not held in the tackle, so able to continue.
Lift.
Starting to feel some
Lift.
pressure here inside the 22. Here it comes out to the backs. Little show and go. Well read. That one, referee says not knocked. We're okay. There's the offload. That one, however, was knocked. And so off the hands, travels forward for the knock on. And this will give Army the opportunity to get out of some pressure here. We'll see how exactly they play it. So inside the 22, the scrum goes to Army.
Still a man down. Looks like they brought a flanker over to be the serve as the 8 on that last scrum. See what we can do here.
So referee says the time is off. And a little bit of conversation and possibly some substitutions. Looks to me like the number 11 for Sandhurst, Cannon, has moved back. So possibly to fill in as the 15. It looks like Joe Hood, the 15, will be making his way off. And 22, Tom Hendry, will come in at the wing.
And I think the Army's fullback court coming in to play the role of 8-man in this scrum.
Every fullback's dream come true to play a little 8-man or nightmare. Not sure. Depends on who you are, I guess.
You're at the back of something.
Great utility, great value with court. He's been taped before. He's like 6'5". They've thrown him up in the air.
Yeah, fair point.
Versatile.
I mean, right? Fair point. Got good hands. Why not? So, here's the put in. We want this to be stable. Looks like it may have been stolen at the head. That's unfortunate. Now it comes out to Sandhurst. All across. Big step forward. And is able to find the try zone. And so that locks us up at 24 with about 5 to play and the kick on its way.
We should get our yellow back on at the restart.
Yeah, I think it was 14 minutes and change that they pulled the card. So hopefully that 4-minute mark on the scoreboard marks us going back in. Yeah, it's been a game of runs, right? I mean, you look at the couple tries that Sandhurst came out early in the first half. Army responds, they come right back out in the second half with a couple more. And then the last couple scores now from Sandhurst has a 2-point lead.
So the kick is up and good, gets the extras, makes it 26-24 with little over 4 to play. And so now,
Cards on.
looks like we're back to full as the card returns.
Looked like we just tried to put 2 people on. We were going to play 16 on 15 here for a minute.
Good if he can get it.
Doesn't quite go with that duty honor country that we try to subscribe to here at West Point.
Fair point. And so back to work is Army, now down 2 with about 4 to play. Going to be looking to get some ball here. And I would imagine Sandhurst is just going to be looking to kill some clock. There it is out to the width. Now you would think we're going to try to push him out here. He's able to find ground. No touch found. Ball still available and live. Stripped. Referee says we're okay.
Pretty liberal with the ball Sandhurst is right now. I'm really surprised they're not taking their time at every single available breakdown.
That, almost with the poach. Very close. Isolated. Counter ruck not successful. Now the ball comes out. And so Army will have an
Gotta keep ball in
opportunity.
hand.
Got to
Ball
think
in
about what
hand.
we're going to do here.
Yep,
And
see the
that
numbers.
time, well fielded by the 9. Sent back over the top. Now comes across the field. Now comes out.
Get there for support.
Little bit of a gap. Can we break one? Not quite. Ball's available. Now out. Gains a few. Poach attempt, but looked like he lost it in contact. Out again.
We got 2.5 minutes. Keep ball in hand. Support.
Again, the poach attempt. Not okay. Now we're away. There's the double tackle. Good work on the ground. Little inside ball. Not finding a lot of space to work so far. Ball's available. It's back across. Gains a few.
Got all the time in the world. Be patient, boys.
There's the inside ball. This is Schmidlin
Get
again.
to him.
Got to get some ruck speed there. It's good clean out work.
Ball back in the blind side. Let's set up our back line here, and I think we're going to have a good attacking pattern here.
There you go. Go forward ball.
That's Merriman, gains a couple.
Literally all the time in the world.
That one looked a bit high. Referee says yes, it was. And so the infraction looked to be on Malcolm there wearing the
Don't go quick.
19 jersey. And so after several phases, Army will have an attempt at touch.
You said it right there, Mike. Several phases. That might have been the best attacking pattern I've seen this whole game by West Point.
So looks to me like Army is going to take a shot at the posts.
Ricky Corbett has a boot.
So Corbett lines up from, well, let's call that 38 meters. And
Yeah, throw on the hypotenuse. Let's pull out our a squared plus b squared equals c squared to figure out how far that really is.
that is a bomb of a kick. That's going to take all the leg and then some. Because he's wider than the 15 meter. So let's call it 10 meters off the sideline. That is, I think we can conclude a long, long strike. Crowd quiets down. It's a good
Nope.
strike, but it's a little bit wide right of the posts. And Sandhurst wisely kicks it out the back, and that is going to be the game. So referee blows it up there at the end and says that's the final whistle. And here from Army West Point, the score of 26-24, after leading much of the way, goes the way of Sandhurst. To the frustration of the home fans, this one goes to the visiting team. Guys, as we wrap up the game, any final thoughts, final words besides just, close?
Yeah, that's a way to go down. But hey, they were fighting the whole time. We talked about at the start of it. This was a great chance for folks to get a run in, from both sides. Sandhurst had plans to get another match in earlier during their tour. I think they were down in the D.C. area and weren't able to get that run in. So this is a good chance for them to get and I'm obviously biased, but what an epic setting. And then from the youth that West Point has, for them to show out against a team like Sandhurst and all their experience. Yeah, the loss absolutely hurts. I'm not one for moral victories. Winning matters. And so, that's what it's going to hurt, but we can build off of it.
Good thoughts, Colin. Anything?
Last night at the jersey presentation, Coach said this was an opportunity for the underclassmen to start solidifying themselves, start making themselves part of the brotherhood. As Colonel Conkey said, we never take moral victories here, but definitely saw some individual performances out there that's just going to keep this climb going into next fall.
So it brings up a good point, and something that certainly we like to do anytime we're on the broadcast. A little bit of a shout out. Any shout outs, player of the match, people who you thought really made a difference on the field. Do you have anybody that really stands out for you?
Yeah, from the Army side, I think Court did great from in the back's perspective. The experience that he has gotten to run with the top side, with our starting 15 was on display. And then I couldn't hear what he was saying down there, but our number 9 on the day, Lucas Perez, did a great job, I think, to keep folks settled down and keep folks headed in the game.
Those seem pretty easy. Anything for you, Colin? Anybody who stood out?
I think Colonel Conkey called his shot. He said Jordan Thompson off the start. Quite a performance by him as well.
Well said. Couldn't agree more. On the Sandhurst side, I'll give a little bit of a shout out to number 11, Noah Cannon, who had 2 on the day. Got to respect the winger who gets in there and does the work and gets the points down for the squad. So congratulations to him. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you. It's been a great day, and even though the score didn't go maybe the way we would have wanted, it was a good day, good being with you. Thanks so much for being part of the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate having us on.
So on behalf of Army Night Vision, it's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of the evening.